What is happening, people? That is correct. I feel like I always say that in the beginning of the shows. No, Hay Arquero, episode 17. We're back. It has been a minute. Vicente, Jordy, how are you guys doing today?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. New FC just dropped.
Oh,
Been on that a little bit. Been struggling with the gameplay, not gonna lie. But, yeah, I've been doing that for a little bit. And, yeah, man, it's been good. It's been good.
Yeah, I've been doing well. Doing a lot of Cougar soccer. I haven't been doing as good as I have been,
Yeah.
but the season overall is good. I like what I'm doing. I like the team as well. Like everyone, brings a positive mentality, but the results have not been there. So hopefully next year or later on the Big 12 season, things get better.
I mean, it's the game we watch, the game we love, and the game we play.
Yeah.
And now, to get on to the game that we love, a question of the day.
Sir.
This question of the day is
Been a minute.
Yeah, it has been a minute since I've done one of these. But I'm gonna be asking my fellow co-hosts here, who is a youngster, a young player that you are excited about, that you are just getting ready for his development?
All right, so for me, one guy comes to mind that I've had the pleasure to watch in person a few times. I'm going to go with Lawrence and Ali.
I knew you were going to say
Dynamo. Listen, I don't remember the last time I watched a talent this young and this good with so much pace down the wing since Alvarez was here. I think that was the last time I saw a winger with that amount of pace and that amount of drive whenever they get the ball. And it's just so unfortunate how he recently tore his ACL. It's really sad, man. But yeah, I hope he can come back next year 100% healthy because I would love to see him play a full season here.
Yeah, it's so exciting. Like I was watching it. I didn't get the chance to watch him live, like at Shell Energy, but I watched him at home, and he made like the difference between him and other players
day and night.
and at like pace when he was running down the wing, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
For me, I will have to say Aaron Anselmino, a player from Boca Juniors who's recently signed with Chelsea.
Oh, okay.
So he will be moving there next year. I think it's a 7-year contract. Once again, Chelsea making those weird ass contracts.
Okay.
But no, this guy, if he develops well, if he doesn't get an injury in South American soccer, where they just come for your knees every second.
Yeah.
But if he develops well, I think he may become one of the best center backs in the world. Like I see, like he has the potential to become a Cuti Romero, something like that.
How old is he?
Strong. I think he's 19.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Very
really young.
Argentinian?
Yeah, he's from Argentina, and I mean he's got a future ahead. He will be joining the team with Enzo, and the World Cup 2026. I don't think he will get called up for that, but the goal is for 2030. What can you do to be there? And I think he's going there. He's going places. Yeah. How about you?
And the youngster that I really liked, I feel like had a lot of noise to his name earlier, but now I feel like the hype has kind of died down. Rico Lewis. I really like Rico Lewis.
Yeah.
Because it's just like the definition of like the modern fullback and how he can transition between the DM spot into the midfield and bring up the ball, come back defensively, distribute the ball, and that's honestly what I love about soccer. When I grew up, I really loved watching CDMs. I really like watching defensive the defenders and stuff like that because of things like that. And under Pep Guardiola, he just basically, I don't know, just this new position that has come up, and it's gonna be a big part in this new modern football, I think. And
especially with Rodri out, this might be a season where he gains a lot more minutes. And it's almost like Pep Guardiola created him out of a lab, because he adapted so well at such a young age. Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah. So, and I've actually seen a little bit of rumors. I mean, I always see these rumors all the time. But speaking about Pep Guardiola, it looks like England really want to get Pep Guardiola or their manager.
England.
Yeah. Now that Southgate's just not part of the conversation, but like I said, I always see that rumor every time. I always see English FA trying to swoop up Pep Guardiola, but I mean, we'll see what.
So what are you trying to tell me? Is this a conspiracy theory where they're pushing the 115 charges to get Guardiola out of City and put him as a?
Is the FA pressuring Pep to sign with England?
Yeah, I mean, hey, you either sign or you basically lose your team.
Yeah, I'm just sharing information out here.
Hey, that's a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that was happening.
And I really do hope England can, in fact, step out of the traditional English manager and try something new. I wouldn't say it hasn't worked for them because you've made 2 Euro finals back to back. You can't really complain, can you? But who knows? Maybe this can get them over the line because it always feels like England, although they go far, it ends up being disappointing for a lot of these English fans. So maybe this will get them over.
And with the Premier League, you know, the best league in the world. You look at the rosters. There's people from all the world. So you have to adapt to what you have and represent who you are as a league. And the best way to do that will be to bring someone from one of those countries, you know, to lead your nation.
Yeah. But now we're going to be beginning with the tournament that we all love, but has recently changed, the Champions League. So, before we get into any of the matches, I just got to say, man, I feel like it's so many games.
Yes.
And they're all going on at the same time. Like, it's like you got to pick and choose what to watch.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, oh, you can have 13 screens at the same time and watch them all. No, that's not happening. But, I mean, it's just, maybe it's because, you know, the first game we kind of overwhelmed and stuff like that. But this was it's going to be looking like, you know, for the rest of the league league format or whatever.
Yeah, and keep in mind this match day number 1, we had 3 days where there were games.
Yeah.
There will be some match days where it's only Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So they'll make those days even more packed. And I'll say the match day number 1 was fun. There were some crazy games.
Oh, yeah.
But overall, I felt like, even though I know the format changed, I felt like what I was watching was the same product. I don't know if you guys I didn't feel any kind of pressure from any teams, or were like, oh, this is a league, so we have to defend better or attack more or anything. It was just like everyone was playing for some kind of points, and it didn't really matter what the system is.
Yeah, boys, I'll be honest. I did not have the best of luck in picking games this weekend. I turned on Man City, Inter. I was like, man, you know what? Maybe tomorrow will be a better day. Woke up Thursday, put on Atalanta, Arsenal. So I didn't make the best choices. Obviously, Monaco, Barca, I watched that as well. But on the side, I had Atalanta, Arsenal. And man, it was an absolute snooze. But speaking of Monaco, Barca, I mean, guys, obviously, Barca with the amazing start that they had to the league. We all went into this game thinking, chilling, no problem. And then the early red card, game completely changes.
Yeah, it's so frustrating for Barcelona, and as a Barca fan, to see that the person who makes the mistakes, who I consider is Ter Stegen.
Yeah.
Ter Stegen shouldn't be playing that ball, and it's so frustrating that as a Barca fan, like I said, like it's so frustrating that it's a player with knowledge, with experience, who's making that mistake.
Yeah.
Because yes, we have a bunch of people injured, but if you tell me that Casado, you know, a young player, is making that mistake. You know, I understand that. You know, you're putting a lot of pressure on the kid, but it's Ter Stegen. You know, a guy with experience. He shouldn't be making these mistakes.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, very unfortunate that, you know, he's injured now for a while. Won't be back. But I mean, yeah, Barca need to bounce back. They have what on paper looks like a comfortable game against Young Boys on Tuesday. A chance for them to get the 3 points and regroup.
Yeah, because the game against Monaco, Barcelona, like they played well. Like I feel like, you know, we don't get that early red, we win that game.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, how you guys were saying, like, I don't understand what's going on through Ter Stegen's head, just playing that ball, taking forever, slow ball, and he gets just to come back and commit the foul, ends up being a red card.
And we also got to talk about Lamine Yamal.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
come on. That finish, just cut it inside, remind me of Arjen Robben, you know. Like,
Arjen Robben.
Yeah, it's just... He's unbelievable, and I mean, where can he go? Like, really, like, is there even a roof for him? Like, is there like a ceiling? Like, is he gonna stop at some point?
Every time I watch Barcelona play, and they're like, you know, the commentators are just going on, like, Lamine is on his way to becoming one of the best in the world. And, like, okay, I understand, like, media and hype, but I don't want to put that much pressure on the guy. Just let him play, man.
Yeah.
Just let him play, see what happens. Every time he plays and does stuff like that, I'm always like I get surprised and astounded every time.
But seriously though, like he shows such confidence, like an amount of confidence that I've never seen in a guy like that. You know,
Yeah.
he plays when he has the ball. I feel like he has played for more than 10
Doesn't
years.
play
at the
like a
club.
thing.
Yeah, he's so calm. Like it almost feels like he's just playing in the streets with his friends. You know.
Yeah, but, you know, Bayern also, I mean, we got to talk about this result. I mean, 9-2, like, insane. I wasn't able to watch this game, but I was able to watch the highlights. And I mean, I want to talk about Michael Olise and just how good he has been for this Bayern team and how cheap they were able to get him for this summer. It's definitely the deal of the year for sure in terms of transfers. He's been incredible. And, you know, Harry Kane also getting the hat trick of penalties.
Based on the opponent, you know, Dinamo Zagreb, you know, a team that you usually see in the Champions League, but obviously doesn't make a long run or anything like that. Is this a big statement from Vincent Company, or is this something that could have happened and we just gotta see how it develops?
Honestly, I think this is just like, this is the standard that Bayern Munich have set, like across the years. Don't get me wrong, Vincent Company has had a decent start with Bayern in the league, being in first place, not losing a match. There's only been 4 game weeks in there. But I still think that there's still a bit way to go in terms of like making a quote unquote statement with Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I mean it puts pressure on your opponent. Bayern like is going to face Aston Villa on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Away. You're going to England, and I feel like that's the first real
Yeah.
big match that he's gonna face in the European competitions. So we'll see what kind of game he can place in there. Because at the same time, Harry Kane, I mean, 4 goals. And some people were saying, "Oh, he's the best 9 in the world." I mean, I don't know. It's just Haaland is such a robot that you just can't compare the two. But Bayern can do big things if they keep it up this way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is going to be their first real test. Villa got a 3-0 win, I believe, in the first match day against Young Boys. So they're coming off that win. It's going to be a good game for sure. But, this week we only have games on Tuesday and Wednesday. Yep. And what I'm seeing here is that 2 o'clock time slot for us here in Texas. There's 7 games at the same time, guys.
Yep.
So we're going to have to make some tough choices. So if you had to pick, what game will you be watching, Vicente, at? Tuesday and Wednesday?
Okay, I'll X out Barcelona Young Boys because I'll probably watch that one. But but in a world where I don't care about Barcelona, man, I'll probably stick with Leverkusen AC Milan. I think AC Milan going to Germany. Leverkusen won their game pretty easily. Showed a great face. Xavi Alonso is doing great things. Wirtz is amazing. Grimaldo scored a goal. So I want to see what they can do against a team like AC Milan. That it's not only a bigger opponent on paper because of history, but also is a traditional team that's related to this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, going off a little bit about that, Milan, they couldn't beat Liverpool. They lost 3-1 in their first Champions League week, but they're having a decent Serie A. They actually end up beating Inter over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. So they're coming off of momentum themselves. It's just to see if against Leverkusen what are they gonna do, because Leverkusen destroyed Feyenoord last Champions League, and I was watching that game. I was like, man, Santi Gimenez is about to get on the score sheet, scoring on Bayer Leverkusen. It's gonna be amazing. Did not happen, but I like that you mentioned Leverkusen Milan because I feel like the obvious choice here is like Arsenal PSG in terms of like watching, but Leverkusen and Milan I feel like would just be more entertaining overall. Me personally.
What game would you watch, Jordy?
Definitely Arsenal PSG. I mean,
Definitely.
it's 2 big powerhouses. PSG maybe not so much of a powerhouse anymore, obviously, but they've got some young talent. You have Vitinha, you have Barcola, you have some of these young guys that are looking to make a name for themselves in the European stage, and then obviously you have Arsenal, who is Arsenal. I mean, they're still, I believe, undefeated in the Premier League. Yeah, 3 wins, 2 draws in the Premier League. So at the end of the day, it's Arsenal, it's PSG. That's probably going to be my game to watch for Tuesday. But actually, Santi does play against Girona at 11:45, so you can wake up and watch that, and then watch the 2 o'clock game. So yeah, good chance for Santi to go off there.
Girona is also set to play against Feyenoord on Wednesday, like you just mentioned, and I mean, Girona loses against PSG. We gotta talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
So they park the bus. They're obviously playing a system where you want to defend most of the time because you're the park the prince, and Luis Enrique is just throwing everything he has towards you. But Girona, like,
so close, man.
It's so close, and then the goalkeeper who made like a crazy number of saves ends up conceding the most stupid goal ever. But I mean, can you blame them?
No.
What's your message if you're the coach to your goalkeeper?
Man, my message honestly is, what can you even say other than keep your head up and and we moved to next week or next Champions League match.
And for Gazzaniga, you gotta keep in mind. I don't know if you guys saw this news. FIFA might be suspending Dibu Martinez because of what happened at the end of the game with
Colombia.
Yeah, with Colombia, with
the
the
smack the
cameraman.
camera.
Yeah. and the stuff that he did with Copa America, that he puts
Oh,
yeah.
Puts on a
They
show.
might be suspending him for 2 games. Armani apparently retired from the Argentina national team, so maybe he will get the call up because he's doing well in Europe. So,
Yeah, I mean, he had a great game, other than that last mistake, obviously. But
and just the fact that it's in Champions League just puts you at a different level.
Yeah.
Like if you're in South America and you're doing well, you're not gonna most likely take the spot of someone who's playing European football.
yeah, definitely. I mean, Argentina are also in a position where they can comfortably put in a couple of guys to try out and be totally fine because 7 out of 10 qualify in that region. They won't have any issues. So
Yeah.
if they want to, go ahead.
Yeah, Liverpool also to play Bologna, who tied against Shakhtar in the first match there. Bologna, obviously, a team that killed it last year. I'm not saying that this is a test for Liverpool,
Yeah.
but it is interesting. Like what are you gonna do? Are you going to adapt to Liverpool's system, or are you going to just, because you have nothing to lose, do you play the same way you have
Yeah.
played throughout all this time?
Definitely nothing to lose. I mean, I'm looking here and they've been struggling in the Serie A so
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
1 win, 3 draws, and
Mhm.
then the loss. So they're currently sitting in 13 after 5 match days. So, yeah, nothing to lose for them. I think, honestly, just go for it.
Yeah.
Play maybe more of an attacking style and see what you can create.
Meanwhile, Liverpool are doing pretty good in the Premier League themselves. Pretty good in the Champions League. Plus, they got Federico Chiesa. Familiar with these Italian teams. He played against Milan. I'm assuming he's going to be playing this match week as well. And it's just a bit of an advantage against like these Italian teams, I would say.
It is crazy though when you look at the stats, when you look obviously 36 teams and you see that only the first 8 qualified directly to the round of 16. Like obviously now because it's just one match day, you cannot tell the difference, but I mean it's gonna be crazy because teams that have like 16, 17 points might not make it to the round of 16
Yeah, it's
directly.
insane.
Like it's gonna be really tough. Like I'm looking forward to those very last games.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be annoying because we're gonna be packed with games, and,
Yeah,
and
you
it's
have
gonna
to
be hard
pick.
to keep up with everything. But it's interesting. I feel like towards the very end, it will get very, very, very
Yeah,
interesting.
I think that's really when like the teams are gonna realize the positions they're in. The tables are gonna be a little more like fleshed out, and that's when we're gonna see those competitive games that we've been hoping to watch with this new format. Well, I mean, we're just gonna keep watching the Champions League with these upcoming matches, and now we're going to be getting into a bit of a Mexico update here. So the first one, pretty big one, is Santi Gimenez actually got injured
Wow, really?
and he's out until December. Yeah, so he was injured in his previous match in the Dutch league.
Yeah, it was a bad tackle, apparently.
Yeah, it was pretty unfortunate. There's actually been some communication coming out that they want Santi Gimenez to do their full recovery in Mexico because like they're gonna get like the best doctors in the world and all this other stuff, and that they're gonna do his full recovery and physical therapy, etc. in Mexico, but it's just gonna come down to Feyenoord if they want to accept
I don't see that happening. I don't
Me
see that
neither.
happening
I don't
with
see that.
the European mindset.
No, yeah.
I don't see him letting him go to Latin America to do kind of recovery, especially with the how pride Europeans are about like their healthcare
No.
and all that stuff.
100%.
Yeah, but such a rough. Not only because you're injured, but everything that's talk about the pressure that he's at. He almost signed for a Premier League club. There were
Yeah.
also talks about him going to Italy. You stayed in the Netherlands. Now you get injured. I mean, it's so tough
yeah.
because
It's tough, but I think he made the right decision. I mean, Feyenoord, Champions League football, he's there. He starts every week. Fans love him. He probably loves being there. So I think for another season, it was a good decision for him. Obviously, you couldn't predict an injury. But
Yeah.
I think he made the right decision to stay for at least another season there.
And it is just part of the game. Pretty unfortunate, but hopefully he can come back on his feet and come back better, man. Because Santi Gimenez, I mean, a lot of Mexicans were really, banking on his success and stuff like that, and his goal scoring ability to transcend and apply that into the Selección Mexicana. But moving on, another Mexican player, Cesar Montes, a defender, goes to FC Lokomotiv in Moscow.
Yeah.
Ends up scoring on his debut as a defender in the Russian Cup. So that's good. That their team or his team won 5-1. So that is a good start for Cesar Montes and getting some European experience because he was in Spain, but he ended up getting demoted, so he ended up looking for
I
some.
know Inter Miami wanted him in the summer. I know that Tata was looking at him for a little bit. He really liked how he played. So, I mean, good for him. Do they have any sort of like European competitions?
Nah, because of the war that's going
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're not in Champions League
That's
football or
unfortunate.
anything like that. That's the only bad thing about it. You know, we have Luis Chavez as well in the Russian league.
Yeah,
They're not
he
getting
was, yeah.
European experience like that, but at least they're over there. And then another player that's over there and is going to be staying over there is Memo Ochoa.
Really?
You guys thought that it was
Memo
over
Ochoa.
for Memo Ochoa.
I thought he was MLS bound for sure.
But he has declared that he wants to play in the 2026 World Cup.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
for that, he ends up going to Portuguese team. Actually, a new team, AVS Football.
The first division?
Yes.
Wow.
So the club was founded in May 5th, 2023, and ends up getting promoted in the playoffs last year. So now they're first division football.
Oh, so they just got up.
Yeah, they
Okay.
just got founded, just got up, and Memo Ochoa is going to be the goalkeeper.
What do you
there.
think? What do you think Rafa Marquez like point of view throughout
Like
all
a-
this thing?
About Memo Ochoa?
Yeah, I mean, because he obviously respects him, right?
Yeah.
And you know, the coaching talk will always be if he does well enough, you know, the doors are always open because we want the best out of the best in the national team.
Yeah.
However, do you realistically call Memo Ochoa if he has a serious season in Portugal?
It's because, like, it's not, at this point, it's not even about do we call Memo Ochoa. It's more about who is the best Mexican keeper right now.
Okay.
Because the reality of it all is the alternatives would be like,
Malagón.
yeah, Malagon and like Rangel. And they're not necessarily, like, statistically, Rangel is better than Memo, and then Memo is better than Malagon. But technically, Malagon is like the first keeper for La Selección Mexicana.
Currently.
So I think it's really going to come down to moment and form and just that. But in terms of Rafa Marquez, I mean, I think that's really what they're like evaluating because it's not a big pool to choose from, and that's really what it's going to have to come down to. But in my opinion, the one that I would like to prosper and to be, maybe not yet, but soon, is Alex Padilla. He's that 20-year-old Mexican keeper that plays in Atletico Bilbao. So he's a third keeper, but he ended up getting play time because the first keeper was injured. He played 2 games. Ernesto Valverde really liked him. He said in an interview that he was really excited for him. He matured and developed in these 2 matches. Unfortunately, the first keeper came back, so he's not going to be playing anymore. But I think Alex Padilla can do good things, and even like, you know, off of his success in La Liga, hopefully he keeps on doing good and get playing time. Maybe he can be a first-team keeper somewhere else in Europe. Hopefully he gets playing time. Hopefully racks up minutes and gets experience and betters the form because, like I was saying, the pool of goalkeepers isn't necessarily exciting.
Yeah, and I feel like the Mexican national team can be that platform that takes him to a better, not a better team, but just a team where he can be that first string goalkeeper, you know, like where the guy who everyone trusts, because, you know, if you go to Mexico and they give you the chance and you're successful, you know, there's going to be marketing behind it. There's going to be so much more than just being like the guy who is starting to get some calls in Mexico and is just like the third goalkeeper in Athletic Bilbao, you know?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Copa Oro next year. We got some European teams coming. We got some CONMEBOL teams coming. There'll be eyes on the tournament. If he can work his way towards that call-up, maybe not so much to start, but just getting an opportunity in a couple of games in Copa Oro could be good for him.
Do you guys see the hosting cities?
It's all like cities just came out.
Yeah,
it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, but they avoided any like East Coast.
Yeah, there's no New York.
Because
or anything.
apparently what is gonna happen is we also have the FIFA Club World Cup happening.
Okay.
So apparently they and fans are really mad about this. You know, the FIFA Club World Cup might just be like East based,
Yeah.
and then everything else is gonna be like West.
Yeah,
and-
I
and
saw
Central.
that too.
That's
So you know, for someone who lives in Houston, it's kind of frustrating,
Yeah.
but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, you know, there are some like FIFA Club World Cups games coming this way.
Yeah, I mean, it's. When I heard that, I wasn't too excited, and as well as a lot of people were. But I mean, the ones on the West Coast are definitely happy for sure.
Yeah.
And then another Mexican talent his name is Gliberto Mora. This guy, he's 15 years old.
Okay.
15 years old, little kid.
First time hearing about him.
Yep. He debuted with Tijuana earlier this season.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yep. He did good. He still plays with Tijuana. He ended up getting invited to Feyenoord as a concentration, a couple weeks. But not only is Feyenoord the team that invites him, he has been invited to none other than La Masia as well. So,
Very nice.
as a Mexican myself / Barcelona fan, I would love to see something like this. Obviously, he hasn't given his answer because I'm reports saying that also like Premier League clubs want him in their under youth teams to develop him. But I feel like if he would go to La Masia and grow up in this system, and right now Barcelona's really trusting La Masia and feeding and investing in that development, I think that it would be a good opportunity for him, because obviously it's not like, oh, we're bringing you in and you're good. No, it's good. It's either bring him in for a trial.
Yeah, and just it's not even about the fact that we don't know what's gonna happen. Of course, like we don't know where he's gonna go, how he's gonna develop. But just the fact that all these teams are considering him and are giving him that invite just speaks about the type of player who he is. Because I mean, think about I'm not comparing him to Messi, but this is the type of stuff that Messi went through.
Yeah.
So imagine how special it is for a kid
Tough decision.
from Mexico to do something like that.
Yeah. 15 years old is pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be making decisions like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and-
be away from your family.
And
everything.
when you look at like first team and the rosters, and you see all these young players like 17 years old, 18 years old, playing every week, for 15 years old, you're not far from that.
Yeah.
So it's also like a motivation, you know, like, can I do it even before them? Like, can I start at like 16 in one of these teams?
Yeah, when you got players like Lamine Yamal, I mean, obviously Lamine Yamal, but
You
still.
got Kouarsi as well, getting a couple of games in for Barca as well here every now and then. Not starting consistently, but he'll start like a couple of games here and there.
Well, in this beginning of the season, he has almost started every game with
Yeah.
him and Iñaki, Inigo Martinez.
I don't think he started at Girona. I think that's one of the games he didn't start.
That's true. That done some rotations, but yeah, I mean the fact that he's there with Martinez,
Yeah.
like playing as like your center back duo. I mean, we know that when Araujo is back, things are gonna change. But the fact that they consider him, like if you're a young player from Mexico, from anywhere in the world, and you have been given these chances to go train with the first team or with the academy, like it's just. It's so nice. It's so cool because
Yeah.
it motivates you to do big things.
Yeah, 100%. And so, the future is bright for him, but I'm not really one to hype up futures and stuff like that, but it is exciting to talk about at least, especially when the conversation is about a Mexican going to La Masia. I will never shut up. Speaking of Mexicans that I will never shut up about, Edson Alvarez.
Okay.
My boy is not going through the best moment in his career.
Did you guys see that thing where like, apparently he told Enzo like he was gonna kill him or something like that in that West Ham Chelsea
Yeah,
game?
that was
hilarious.
I mean,
they were beefing. Yeah.
Yeah.
that is like, I would say like his biggest struggle right now.
Mentally.
Yeah, like these past couple games.
He got ragged around in that Liverpool game.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty. He got a red card, matter of fact.
Yeah.
So
He got a double yellow in the Liverpool game. And the Chelsea game, he got a yellow. And then before that, he was playing against Fulham, and he also got a yellow. So that means that he can't play in the Premier League because of the double yellow, because Fulham and then Chelsea. And then the red card in the EFL in the Cup, so he's not going to be playing that either.
Yeah.
So, and obviously it's no, news that Lopetegui is struggling with West Ham. And it's not just Edson. West Ham in general don't look good. And then I also kind of thought that this was going to be good for Edson because West Ham ended up getting Guido Rodriguez, which is a midfielder, which was a ex-America player, knows Edson Alvarez, has good chemistry with him, but they haven't been able to click. So Edson's been going off on his rails, and he's just not fitting in with Lopetegui. Lopetegui keeps on changing his position, he puts him as a CDM, then he played it at center back against Chelsea and stuff like that. So he's just struggling to find his spot, and really starting to wonder if Edson stays in West Ham, what's the next step for him, if he's gonna try to like soldier on through, because I do believe that if there's any Mexican player out there that can come out and persevere in a situation like this, it's him. He's always had the mental fortitude to keep going and to pressuring on and just succeeding, and that's something I always liked about Edson.
Yeah, and there's an international break coming soon, so maybe that's also like a boost for him. You know, like
Like a
get away
reset.
from Europe,
Yeah.
go. Well, we know that Mexico will most likely play here in the United States, but just be with around your teammates, around the new coaching staff, and just get those minutes in and be recognized as the leader, and just avoid all the stuff that's happening in England.
Yeah, no, I agree definitely. I mean, especially being your captain, you always want your captain to stay at the top of his shape, make sure that he's informed and he's doing good. So, yeah, I mean, as a Mexican, if you're a Mexican national team fan, you're hoping that Edson Alvarez can really find his foot in the Premier League.
Yeah. What team would you like to see, or what team? Not would you like to see. What team do you actually think he could go?
Like realistically,
Yeah, realistically. Say West Ham just decides to sell him to get some bucks.
I think he could stay in the Premier League because like he's well known in the Premier League. Like teams and like Premier League fans, like they know what Edson Alvarez is capable of in the Premier League. In terms of like realistically going and like consistently starting, I could see him like,
Manchester City with Rodri out.
that would be a pipe dream for sure. I
Like a
mean,
loan or something.
I could see like
Maybe Bournemouth, bro. He joins Julian.
that could be something, with the double Mexican. I would
be nice.
I would like to see something like with Villa, but I feel like I don't know if he would start there. I think he could go there, but
Villa are crazy right now, though. So
yeah,
I know.
that's kind of like the thing.
This is I don't know who or what kind of company or agency is he with
Oh, okay,
for like his manager, but I could low-key see him in Atletico Madrid.
okay,
Under Cholo, we already had Hector Herrera there.
Yeah.
So the Mexicans are well known there. I could see him fit in that team.
yeah,
So maybe in the future that's something that could have happened.
yeah. I mean, I would like I could definitely see him going to like the Serie A or like La Liga and stuff, but I would personally want him to stay in the Premier League just because of the intensity. I feel like
it's the most
that's-
physical league.
Yeah, and I feel like he'll thrive in that environment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
Edson is a very physical guy as well. Obviously, on the field whenever he plays, he not afraid to get a yellow. We know that for sure.
Yeah, which is like something that we've always known about Edson, but it's starting to backfire a little bit.
Yeah,
And then to wrap up this segment, there has been a new tournament made up between Liga MX and MLS.
yeah.
What a surprise!
Another one?
Campeones Cup.
Yeah, Campeones Cup. So it's like the champions versus the champions.
Another money grab. Where was this game played? Let me guess. West Coast, Dallas.
Yeah. Let me actually check exactly.
Los Angeles.
Wait, is it just like a final or
It's just
a
the
tournament?
final.
Yeah.
So who is it? It
It was
was
Columbus.
Columbus and America.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I gotta know where this was played because it has to be the biggest money grab if it was like in the West
Yeah.
Coast, which is what I would assume is where a lot of America fans are.
It was played in the Lower.com field
Lower.com.
in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
Columbus had the home seat here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it's capacity only of 20,000, so relatively
Small stadium.
small stadium, but still, I mean, America Columbus ended up tying 1-1, goes to penalties. Penalties end up on 4-5. America ends up winning. Well, America and Liga MX, they had the mentality: we're gonna go in there, we're gonna crush them, we're gonna make a statement. The statement was not made,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. They've been struggling in Liga
That's
MX.
another thing. They have been struggling. in
And
Liga
talking about
MX.
MLS and CONCACAF, do you guys see that all of a sudden Inter Miami has qualified to the CONCACAF Champions Cup? Like, the way they did it, I mean, they would have qualified either way
It's my-
because they will win the
Oh, yeah.
shields. What is it called? The
Supporter shield.
yeah, the supporter shield.
By far. Like,
Yeah, but they did it like they announced it before they have even won it because they have the explanation is so weird. It's just pretty much like it's Inter Miami, they're qualified.
it makes sense,
Yeah.
honestly. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, you want to
And-
see Messi and Suarez play against teams like America, Chivas,
Yeah.
Rayados.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is like so CONCACAF, there's still one team left, or maybe two for the Club World Cup,
Okay.
and that's like CONCACAF seed.
Yeah.
And apparently they have to decide what's the criteria to actually go. And there's a lot of people saying that it's most likely gonna be the Supporter Shield's winner of this year. So
So who does it go to? Does it
So
drop down to second in the supporters group?
no, this is gonna be for the Club World Cup. So if it's Inter Miami, then it will
So then
qualify
they will
them.
automatically go to Club World Cup without needing to win the CONCACAF.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, because
Yanni, what are we cooking, Yanni?
Yeah, it's because like apparently like they haven't announced the criteria because they want to make sure that it's low key Inter Miami. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, in terms of money. Okay, let's be serious, all right? Who would you rather see in a group stage with Real Madrid, Manchester City, River Plate,
Let me get Messi in there.
St. Louis City, or Inter Miami? Come
I
on.
want to see Columbus Crew play Real Madrid.
Exactly.
I want to see Messi
Okay.
Suarez one last
Like,
dance against Real Madrid. That's what I want to see.
It will be really fun to see that. And we know that, especially in the US and soccer in general nowadays, is a lot of, who brings the most money to the table, and there's some shady stuff.
Yeah.
But realistically speaking, it will be nice to see Messi and
As a
Suarez
fan
with
of the
this.
sport, like,
Yeah.
let's be real.
Because we know that Inter Miami is not going to win. No MLS team is going to win the Club World Cup.
No.
It's going to be a European team. Just have that on your mind. So just being able to have these games is going to make it interesting.
Yeah.
We're definitely not surprised.
Yeah.
To say the absolute.
No, definitely not.
But moving on to the European teams that we're talking about.
Yeah.
In La Liga today, Mallorca beats Valladolid 2-1. La Liga table looking pretty decent as Barcelona haven't lost, and we are 7-7.
Oh, with 5 goals against them. I mean, listen, I know we talk about the offense a lot, but I want to talk about how great the defense has been for Barca. Despite Araujo out and Cubarsi stepping up, guys like Eddie Garcia stepping up,
Koundé
Martinez.
has been
Koundé has been
excellent.
unreal. I mean, yeah, this Barca has been honestly unbelievable.
Yeah, and
It's vintage.
yeah,
It's vintage.
and I want to say obviously these players individually have been great, like you mentioned, but it's also the system. It's something about Flick,
Hansi.
the pressure,
Hansi,
the way. Because I recently heard this thing is it's like everyone can run, but it's about the way you run, the spaces that you cover.
Yeah.
Hansi Flick has been able to teach these guys where to go
Yeah.
around the pitch to close certain gaps, and they have done it so perfectly. Like, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, in terms of, I don't know what's gonna happen in the Champions League because it's a different thing. But in La Liga, like, I don't think we're gonna lose it. Like,
Honestly, from last year to this year, it's day and night.
Day and
And,
night, yeah.
One player in specific that I felt has really thrived under this new system with Hansi Flick has been Rafinha. And just his movement off the ball has been incredible. Sometimes in games you see him shift to the center or you'll see him shift out wide and just move into that space. Something that we didn't really see from him last year, and he's been unbelievable.
yeah, I mean, when was the last time that you guys watched Barca and you know that they're gonna score at least 2-3 goals per game?
No, yeah.
It's been the longest time. Like, it's just, that Lewandowski is going to be there inside the box, which is all because of Hansi Flick.
Yeah.
Because with Xavi, we'll see it, Lewandowski will drop back,
Yeah.
try to connect and play. With Flick, it's different. He looks at Flick and Flick is just like, go up, bro. You're not Busquets. Like,
Yeah, facts.
go up. You will receive the ball where you need to be. And it's been extraordinary. Obviously, we have to talk about the way he has been able to bring up these young players. Not only give them a chance, but like the Casados, the Lamine Yamal, Hector Ford, all these guys,
Yeah.
they're playing so well. And I don't know what's happening in Barcelona right now, whether
Yeah.
they're feeding them or what's happening, but I just don't understand how they clicked so quickly,
Honestly,
Yeah, going a little bit back to Lewandowski, I like that you mentioned that because at the beginning of the season, I was really questioning what's going to be his role. We're going to see him dying in freaking March because of the amount of games that he played. But his role is really different. It's really just scoring goals. He's not receiving the balls and distributing how we would see him with Xavi. And it would just, you could just see the amount of time that he would get involved in the hard carry that he would provide. But now it's really the team playing. Another youngster to mention, Pablo Torre. Dani Olmo gets injured. We need somebody in the position. Boom, he comes up, scores, ends up playing again against Getafe, does not score in that one. But I mean, Pablo Torre, and to your point, these youngsters, and in the game tomorrow, we're gonna see some more rotations. We're gonna see some
especially
more
since,
youngsters get
midweek.
involved.
And like you mentioned, with all these injuries, like if you're doing this with the young players who are having to step up because there's no one else, imagine when you have the Frankie de Jong, the
True.
Gavi,
Gavi.
True.
Olmo back, Araujo, Christensen.
Yes.
Like, if they, obviously not all of them are gonna fit like just right away.
Yeah.
But if you are able to incorporate these players into the team that you have and to the system, and they understand everything they have to do, and they play at the same pace, like I don't know, like we might as well just give them the trophy. Like I don't know.
One question in all this: where does Fati fit? What is his role?
So they have been saying like I think I've heard Flick say I want to play him in his true position, and I feel like they're referring him to as like a backup 9.
Yeah.
I don't see him in the wing, but at the same time, with Lewandowski, like he already has 7 goals in La Liga, like he's not gonna come off. So that means Ansu is not gonna have many chances. I would like to see him down the wing, but it's all about the pace.
Yeah.
Like, is he really that guy? It's so sad to
It's
see.
so hard because just our wing play is where the money is at right now for
Mhm.
Barca. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe he can get an opportunity in a Copa game soon,
Yeah.
sub Loa off, and then see what he can do. But yeah, I don't see him starting in this team anytime soon.
Yeah, it's just Rafinha is excellence. He's playing as your 10. And I like the whole thing how he's making Valde go all the way up.
Yeah.
You know, Valde, you have all that wing to just go up and down. And when Ferran Torres comes on, he also leans towards the inside to play like as like a false 9 as well. So I don't see Fati coming on, but you know, let's say all of a sudden we go no injuries. Make your starting 11.
Oh, okay. Everybody
My
playing in
starting-
Yeah, everyone is in
11.
form. I'm not saying like prime form, but everyone is solid. Everyone's is you know like ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, goalkeeper, whatever, right?
Well, oh yeah, we also have to let you know that obviously with Ter Stegen's injury, he's gonna be out for the rest of the season, and Barcelona has
Iñaki
decided
Peña
to get
will be taking over.
Iñaki Peña is gonna be playing for these couple games, but Barcelona will sign most likely Chesney. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Chesney, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone in here knows how to actually
I
spell
don't know how to
that.
spell it.
Yeah. But the Polish goalkeeper, you know, the famous goalkeeper who saved the penalty against Messi in the 2020 World Cup,
Just
who
staying
has
with
been with Juve for like the longest time, Arsenal, he will get a contract for a year because Barcelona cannot sign a player from another team. It has to be a player who is a free agent, and he was actually retired. So
And honestly, like to go a little bit on that, like I understand that Ter Stegen got injured, and that's the reason why we got him. But that shouldn't be the reason why we had him, man. Like the whole reason why Ter Stegen, you know, be making these dumbass mistakes is because there is no pressure.
yeah.
There is no competition.
Yeah.
He can afford this kind of stuff.
And we will see what Chesney does, of course. But if he has a solid season, and let's say Barca goes and wins La Liga and Copa del Rey, and maybe does like a solid performance in Champions League, like maybe we'll go, okay, we'll give you another year of contract to just compete against
Ter Stegen.
yeah, against Ter Stegen. You know, something that, for example, Madrid didn't do with Kepa because he ended up losing his spot to Luning.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, going back to the original one.
Yeah.
The starting 11. So I'll go Chesney.
Okay.
Just
For
to-
now,
to-
honestly.
Yeah. Or let's avoid saying goalkeepers because we know
Yeah,
who
it's
is
just the,
Yeah.
that's the conversation.
just the 10 above.
But I'll go with I'm gonna get Koundé, Araujo, Cubarsí,
Okay.
Valde.
Okay.
Kunde on the right. So Kunde was
Koundé on the right,
Yeah.
yeah. Araujo and Cubarsí in the middle, and then Valde on the left. Midfielders, I'm gonna have Pedri, Gavi, Dani Olmo.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna be my
So it's like
midfield
Pedri,
two.
Gavi, Olmo as a 10?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Pedri and Gavi kind of like interchanging roles, and then Olmo is at 10. And then I'm gonna go with Lamine, Lewandowski, and Rafinha up
Yeah.
top.
Any changes to that? Would
My
you-
only change would be Frankie. I still think Frankie can just. I want to see Frankie really thrive under Barcelona before he decides he wants to leave, and more than likely go to the Prem, which is where I think he would go if he was to leave.
Over who?
Over Gavi
That's-
personally.
Over Gavi?
Yeah, I think I would.
I don't like with the way this Barca team is playing.
Yeah.
I don't see Flick. Like I feel like everything Flick wants right now is to put Gavi in.
Yeah.
That's true.
11.
That's true, but I would just really love to see Frankie
Yeah, me
fit
too.
in this team
Me
because
too.
I know how good he can be. So
Yeah.
that's my dream 11.
Yeah.
Here,
A perfectly healthy and good Frankie.
Yeah.
yeah. Here's the thing. I don't think Frankie will start in a perfectly like healthy team, but he will definitely be like our super sub. Like he will be a guy who will be rotating.
Yeah.
Like he will be like our 12th man. Like he will be rotating all the time because you know there's a bunch of games.
Yeah.
The thing is, you know, with Frankie, it's just I feel like the fan base he lost the connection with the fan base. Like with the whole situation with the contracts and everything, like how long he's been out, almost like they said that he might have played. He could have played the Euro Cup. He didn't play that, and then we heard nothing from him
Yeah.
until now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like his connection with the fan base has been broken, and the relationship. I don't think there's gonna be.
Yeah.
It's hard to build that back.
Yeah, and it sucks because I mean we know what Frankie's capable of. I mean we've seen it with Ajax, the run, and even like all these past years with Barcelona, with swapping of coaches like all the time. Frankie was always there. Frankie was always playing in different positions, but was always giving his absolute heart and best for Barcelona, even if it didn't look like it in terms of like if he played his best football. But he was always still there. So I really do feel like he is like a real Barcelona player. It's just been really unfortunate what has happened.
That's enough for Barca though. Now, Jordy, break me down. How can Real Madrid win this La Liga?
Man, it's hard. I still think the best 9 that they have is Vinny.
Okay.
I still think that the best 9 that they have is Vinny. So for me, you have to. I still think that this should be Vinny's team.
Okay.
Yes, because I feel like before we talk, you have the Ballon d'Or winner undoubtedly now with Rodri's unfortunate injury and everything like that. But even before that, I still think it was locked up. I still think you have to just. I know you have Mbappe and Rodrigo as well. I mean, Rodrigo never gets that shine that he deserves, I feel like, because Rodrigo for this team has been unbelievable. But I don't know. It's hard because you look at this Madrid team on paper and you look at them, obviously, in La Liga and everything, and they haven't like been the worst yet. They still haven't lost technically. Like they have 5 wins, 2 draws, so they're 4 behind Barca.
Yeah, it's just, there's so many stars that people will expect that they will run over every team that they face.
Yeah,
And this hasn't
it
been
just
the
has
case.
not been the case at all.
And also, I don't think, Mbappe has 5 goals, 3 from the spot. I don't think has been the worst, but he hasn't been the best either.
Yeah.
I think, and you can see that within the Madrid fan base. Like there's some people demanding so much more, and there's some people saying, "Oh, he's the best. He has scored 5 goals." And there's not like I don't see many people in the middle actually understanding that Mbappe needs to be better. His connection with Vini and Rodrigo it hasn't been there yet. And when you go later on the season, you need to have that in order to win big things,
Yeah.
And I don't want to do the same thing that everyone does every year where it's like, oh yeah, Madrid is not that good enough. When they face a real opponent, they will lose, and then they go on and win Champions League. Like, I don't want to be that guy. But seriously, like even against Stuttgart on the Champions League, like they were effective and they won the match.
Yeah.
But still, like there were some moments in that game where it was really like,
I feel like they get off slow as well. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
First 45 minutes are always so slow for Real Madrid, and I just feel like that's not like them.
Yeah.
I feel like with Real Madrid, you have to start off blazing,
Set pace,
counterattack, especially this weekend. The Madrid derby against a
Madrid
team like
derby, yeah.
Atletico, who's is going to sit back,
Yeah.
and is going to be like,
Yeah.
show me what you got.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so ready to see Julian Alvarez play as a left wing in that game. But talking about Real Madrid,
Yeah,
I'm surprised with Endrick, man. He's actually being really good.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
been scoring.
Yeah, he's been scoring. He's being active, and you gotta consider that he's doing these things like having 10 minutes per game, maybe 20.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't been given that many minutes, and he's doing really good things. I mean, what he did against Stuttgart, just drive the ball. You have Vini or you have Mbappe and Vini, and you say,
I don't
I'm
care.
shooting them.
I should have
Terrible decision, by the way.
but he made it, and
Yeah.
that just shows like, hey, he's the type of player that has balls. Like
Yeah, he's
that
got-
takes all the balls. He did that. He scored, and I like his personality, and I think Madrid needs that because at some point of the season, I'm not saying that he's gonna take Mbappe's spot, but the fact that you have a player like that helps a lot.
No, yeah, and honestly, like this Madrid team on paper is just ridiculously talented. I just think it's gonna be a matter of time until these players start clicking. Like we would see the chemistry that Rodrigo and Vini are capable of. They just have to, share with these new players that have just arrived at the club. But I think that it's just a slow start, but it's definitely something to still consider. And I had actually even seen that if we're talking, because we talk about Vini, we talk about Mbappe, we talk about Endrick, we haven't spoken about Bellingham, but I saw this thing where Liverpool actually are interested to sign Rodrigo if Mohamed Salah doesn't extend his contract, because his contract ends at the end of the season. And they're looking to get him, Rodrigo, as a Mo Salah replacement. And if Rodrigo keeps on, I don't know, he doesn't find a spot for this team, maybe he could consider a move.
Yeah, it's wild because if I was Rodrigo, I wouldn't mind going to Liverpool, but at the same time, I would love to go to a place where I can actually play as a left wing and not a right wing. Because if he goes to Liverpool, then you have to battle against
Luis
Diaz,
Jota.
and like even Chiesa, like
Chiesa as well.
it's just a lot of competition in that left wing. So yeah, if I were to beat Rodrigo, I would like to go to a place where I can actually play as a left wing.
Yeah. Speaking of the Premier League, some couple matches this past couple weekends and have been pretty good. Speaking of Arsenal versus Man City, I mean, talk about a clash of the absolute titans, right? Like
Haaland is just man. Haaland was angry that game. I don't know why he was so mad at this Arsenal backline. I don't know if you guys saw that clip, bro. 90th minute, Arsenal scores. They get the kickoff. Or sorry, City scores. Arsenal get the kickoff, and he just bulldozes into Thomas Partey.
Yeah. I mean, it talks about the level of competition. It's kind of like I don't want to compare it to Barcelona Madrid, but there are kind of those teams that are the rivalry. They are leading the league. But I have to ask, do you like what's your take on Arteta like being so defensive in this type of games? Because we heard, I think it was it Bernardo Silva who said that Liverpool actually they have one thing, so they actually try to win.
Yeah,
I think it was Bernardo Silva. He said that.
That's
he
a
was
crazy statement.
He was like, the difference between Liverpool, like our rivalry against Liverpool and Arsenal is like Liverpool has won things before, and when they play us, they want to win.
Yeah.
Whereas Arsenal, they're
happy.
in just trying to. They're happy to get the tie. They're just defend. Like, what's your take on Arteta being so defensive?
It should have worked, honestly. I mean, you had the red card going into the second half. Trossard getting a red. It should have worked. It wasn't pretty by any means. And realistically, City should have won this game comfortably, probably. But, it worked, sort of. I mean, they're not top of the league. But I agree in the sense that, they're very defensive. I mean, considering they also don't have Odegaard, do they really have a choice at the moment?
Yeah.
They're lacking creativity. And I don't know if they really have a choice to be more attacking in these sort of games.
It can also just be a mental thing, like maybe he just doesn't want to expose himself to Manchester City like
No,
that.
but the thing is, when you look at their recent results again between the two, like Arsenal has been low-key dominating. Like they haven't. It's not like they have been winning every one of the matches, but Manchester City hasn't been able to beat them in a while.
Yeah.
So it's because they have been so defensive. So yeah, obviously, if you're a fan, you want to see a great game. But in the long run, when every point counts, this is not a crazy idea.
Yeah.
So I feel like that those fans who are just bashing Arteta are not really looking at the big picture.
No, definitely not. I mean, you're picking up a point against City at City. You take that any day of the week, especially with a red card.
Yeah, and especially because you started losing. And we're going to talk about him. Come on, let's face it. Haaland, 10 goals.
Unbelievable. Absolutely.
Only one from the spot. Like, it's just... I said that he was gonna score 28 goals. I think. I don't know if you guys remember how many you guys said.
I said he was gonna break 30.
Yeah, you guys said that it was gonna be 30 plus. I said 28. But I mean,
we could see 40.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's unbelievable. And I love to see. I saw the whole thing with him throwing the ball at Gabriel and
to the goal.
And I love that.
I love that, bro. He wants to win.
He wants to win. Like we're full in this soccer culture now. We're full of everyone trying to be kind, respect. We're in the whole thing. We need to bring. I'm not saying every game you have to fight against an opponent, but we need to bring that back. That fire, that desire.
And speaking of fire and desire, Calafiori. He ends up scoring an absolute
banger.
Absolute banger.
After Haaland took him to get a hot dog. Like he took him out in that goal. Like he made that run. Yeah.
Just his physical presence.
It was definitely a cross, but absolute banger.
Yeah.
But it was his first ever start for Arsenal. So first start, first goal, absolute banger. I mean, and after the goal, he doesn't necessarily celebrate. He runs towards the benches and he wants to start. And Arteta's like, nah, calm down. So it's just this rivalry, man, just fueling, and it really is great to see, man.
Now, we talk about Arsenal, we talk about Manchester City. We also mentioned like Liverpool, but who has been the best? Who has been playing the best football in Prem?
In the,
In the Prem.
Is it bad if I think Chelsea has, bro?
Okay,
Listen,
okay.
I've been super.
Okay.
Listen, I've been.
Okay, explain yourself.
No, I've been so impressed with the development of Nicolas Jackson specifically.
Okay.
He's got 4 goals this season so far, and you have Cole Palmer with 4 assists as well in the Premier League, only behind Salah in assists. Chelsea, I've been super impressed with. This weekend they went to West Ham, took care of business, 3-0. I mean, the week before that, drew with Palace, wasn't the best. Or sorry, no, they went to Bournemouth and then won in Bournemouth. So they've been taking care of business away from home. And I mean, people had Chelsea finishing lower than United initially at the start of the Prem.
Yeah,
And if you compare the two, it's day and night. So I've
Yeah.
been super impressed with Chelsea.
Maresca is doing good things at Chelsea, and I want to see how it translates after those 38 games. I'm not saying that they're gonna win it, but I want to see where he can take this team because he was building something nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm gonna give a shout out to Liverpool because
You got to, yeah.
before the season started, I really didn't expect them to be top 3, let alone second place right now.
Okay.
And all credit to the coach Arne Slot. Like I really thought that with the departure of Jurgen Klopp, like they were gonna slow down, but it doesn't look like it. And they've been making use, of that's a player I really liked back then when he was in Juventus, and I really wanted to see him go somewhere. And it looks like Liverpool's
Yeah.
his destination for now. So it's just exciting to watch Liverpool play right
In
now.
my opinion, the best center back duo in the Prem by far, and it's not close. Konate and Van Dijk. So far this season, they've been unbelievable. Only 1 goal against them in
Yeah.
5 games.
They both scored against Milan as well.
Yeah.
In the Champions
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, this weekend, match day number 6, we're gonna have Newcastle, Manchester City, Arsenal, Leicester City, and then Chelsea, Brighton. Those are some interesting games on Saturday, and then on Sunday, United, Tottenham. Do you guys want to, go in there? Because the battle of the clans.
Huge game for Ten Hag.
10 versus 11. It's early in the season, so positions they obviously matter, but we obviously can things can totally change after a while. But who has been the better, if anyone has been better?
It's so hard, man.
Who has this?
It's just the battle of the mid right now,
Yeah.
for being completely honest. I mean, United not being able to pick up a win in Europa League
Yeah.
at home on opening match day. Like, what are we cooking here?
Yeah, nothing, absolute nothing.
Apparently, Ten Hag is on his way out. Apparently, United have been looking for a replacement, and they
Okay.
told him, "You are the interim coach while we look for a replacement
Wow.
for you."
So he knows already.
Yeah, he knows, and it's basically gonna happen. I mean, first match week in the Europa League, they tied against Duende, so it's just not a
Yeah.
good look in terms of starting the season.
And it is they did sign some interesting players, and obviously there were injuries, so he's not playing with his full squad, and that takes a toll. But with the roster that he has right now, he should be doing better things.
Yeah.
And that frustrates me because a guy like Manuel Ugarte, you have players like Bruno, Garnacho, De Ligt, who is doing well.
Yeah.
With I think actually the game against they play Liverpool, yeah?
Yeah, they lost 3-0.
they lost against Liverpool. I think a lot of people were clowning the league, and I think he was one of the best in
Yeah.
that game. I think he did well.
Was that the game where Casemiro was just...
Yeah, that Kurt Casemiro.
That was the Casemiro stinker?
Yeah. So him and Lisandro Martinez, I think with a better coach, I wouldn't say a good coach, but with a better coach and a better system, they can go up to a better level.
Yeah, they have the players. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't be at least top 6 right now in the Premier League with the current roster.
Who could fit Man United? Like who
A
could?
coach, huh?
Because obviously,
But the market right now...
yeah,
is
the market
insane.
is not big. But if you can just if they come with the big paycheck and they go, hey, forget about X team, come to Man United.
Forget about
Who could turn this Man United upside down and just take them all the way up?
It's because you're talking about a coach that is not forget about willing to, but is capable of coming into a football giant like United and turning the entire club around. I mean, it's got to be. I was gonna say Jose Mourinho, but he's been there.
Yeah, no, I don't see Mourinho.
Maybe Southgate?
Okay.
I don't know, but I just don't know because the market right now is so difficult.
What about Do you think Ancelotti could do bits there?
I feel like Ancelotti,
maybe could
I feel
push
like the players will respect him so much that anything, like at least you will know that everything, like Man United will be playing the way that Ancelotti wants to play. You know, like
Yeah.
players will do exactly as he says because
Yeah.
they will respect.
I think someone like Tuchel could be good too.
Yeah,
so,
Same.
somebody like that. Somebody like
You see him going there after he coached Chelsea.
Chelsea.
yeah, because
He's
I don't
German,
think it's
yeah.
a crazy rivalry
Yeah,
either. Like
it's-
United Chelsea,
yeah.
it's not like Chelsea Arsenal or United Liverpool or anything.
And they
like that.
kicked him out like a dog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
that was
yeah.
that was horrible.
Yeah.
And just the Premier League, man, it's just the game that we absolutely love. But
Yeah.
now, the segment that Vicente absolutely loves.
Okay. So it is over. Before we go into there, obviously, let us know in the comments, like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments, who have been your favorite teams in La Liga and in the Prem.
Who has surprised you?
Yeah, and Champions League, obviously, coming into next week with the games. Like, what are you looking forward to? So just let us know in the comments. We'll look at it and try to discuss and, about the stuff you guys like, because there's no point,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So now, going to Guess the Footballer. I forgot you guys' record. I have to write it down.
I think we've lost
14
like
and 3,
times.
probably?
Yeah, probably something like that. Okay. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Always.
At this
Go.
point of 17 episodes in, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna explain anymore. If you don't know what it is, you will know by now, or you will know as you watch.
Yeah.
So the first players that this footballer has played with is Yannick Carrasco.
Yannick
Okay,
Carrasco, active
okay.
player,
You're not giving me
Atletico.
like a Chinese player, right?
No.
Atletico.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
Yeah, so Carrasco, Belgian, Atletico, passed through the Saudi League as well for a bit, I believe.
Being in Atletico for so long.
A long time.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Scoring in that 2014 final.
Yeah.
I
Went to go
remember
kiss
I
his
was-
girlfriend.
Yeah, I always remember that. Like, watching that, it was like, damn, that's a dream. Like,
Bro, was it
like-
2014 or 16? No, 16.
It's
16.
yeah, it's La Deci.
14 was the header Godin.
Yeah, it's actually like it's the one after La Deci.
Yeah. So it was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I mean, I think it's gotta be that Atletico Madrid pool.
Yeah.
It's just massive, but I guess I'll go with a pretty. Do I want to go with a pretty big one, or do I want to go with a?
Medium. I could think of a medium, like not something.
Go for it.
I'm gonna go with Jose Maria Jimenez.
Okay.
That's a nice guess.
Yeah.
But it's not Jimenez. But you guys are sticking to Atletico because it is true. He has played a lot. For Atletico.
Yeah.
So Yannick Carrasco and the second player is Nico Gaitan.
Gaitan.
Nico Gaitan.
Okay.
Dang, that's an old name, bro. I haven't heard that name in a minute. Nico Gaitan. So Argentinian. Atletico.
I think he played for Valencia, maybe,
Valencia,
or maybe that was
Argentinian.
Otamendi. I don't know.
Argentinians that have passed through Atletico, but actively playing.
Yeah.
So not Julian, because I don't think Julian would have played with Gaitan at any point.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Correa.
Oh, that's a good shout. I like that shout.
Okay.
Are you guys going to
We'll do
Correa?
Correa, yeah.
It is Correa. Yeah. The other players were Gabriel
Let's go.
Paulista, Saul, and Garnacho.
Okay,
So yeah, it was definitely it was obvious. Argentinian from Atletico
Atletico
Madrid.
Madrid.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty easy. Hopefully, like I said, if you don't know what Guess a Footballer is, you understood what it is by now, and you guys add another W
killed
to the
that.
record.
Yeah.
Congrats.
One of our quicker ones.
Yeah, maybe I'll have a Chinese player in this one because you guys are so good.
I mean, that's actually
crazy.
hilarious. Well, I really appreciate you tuning in for this episode. It was an absolute blast talking about the game that we love. As always, be checking us out on socials everywhere on Hay Arquero. But for our personal socials, I'll go first. I'll go Foot with GLR on TikTok and on Twitter.
Yeah, you can follow me at Jordy Reyes 9 on Instagram, Jordy Reyes 34 on Twitter. Trying to get rid of the numbers.
Yeah, and sure to tune in because now with the new FIFA or
Yeah.
sorry,
FC 25.
AFC
Yeah,
25.
whatever.
It takes a while to get
FC.
used to. Yeah,
They
It
get
take-
it.
Yeah, but tune in because he's gonna be doing a lot of things. I'm sure that you're gonna be
I'll
like
playing
streaming
all
and
the
stuff. Yeah.
tournaments. I'll be
Yeah.
competing. I'll be live streaming my weekend league rivals, everything like that. So
So yeah,
Sure,
if you let him know. I don't know if the Dynamo allows you to share your tactics and stuff.
oh
with the
yeah,
kid.
no, definitely.
So yeah, if you guys are interested in getting the pro tactics, I mean,
Yeah,
one
This
great
guy-
place to
Man,
go into.
I'll put up that tactics code. Let me know, guys.
Yeah.
Hit me up.
So yeah, for real. If you want my socials, Vicente Delgado.m on Instagram, BGM091102 on Twitter, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
All right.
Peace.
Have a good one.